Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Plan Sarah Plan. Welcome to my review of the new Passionate Penny Pincher Work Planner for 2025 and 26. I'm delighted you're here. Welcome to my channel. Passionate Penny Pincher was kind enough to send me this new work planner to review and share with you guys. There are differences right off the bat between this work planner and last year's. Here is last year's version. So it's a different color of a linen textured cover, and this year has the dates on it. The color scheme is a little bit different inside as well, and there are some nice bonuses that I'm looking forward to showing you. So this planner you could use primarily for work with a little bit of your personal life. You could use it 100% for work, or you could use it as your personal planner. You really don't have to use it as a work planner, but that's what this is called. One of the things I really like about it, that someone who enjoys an hourly layout with wider columns than what are typically offered might actually prefer this for their everything planner, their personal planner, their work planner. It's just a really neat layout. So one of the things that is different right off the bat is that there is lots of gold foiling in this year's edition. I really think it's pretty. I think it adds a nice touch. It's not overdone. It's just leveling up the look of the planner. Another thing that's different is the bookmark, which used to be blue. It has, I think, the same design on it. Here is last year's, and it is a slightly different floral pattern, but the structure of the bookmark is the same. It just has a new look with it. The inside of the cover has all of this gold outlined floral imagery with "This is only the beginning" right here. That was in last year's planner, but not the gold foiling. It was just a simple, beautiful floral pattern, but this one has some bling to it, if you will. And so I'm going to set this aside because we might want to demonstrate how you use it. It's pretty straightforward, but you get a welcome postcard from Passionate Penny Pincher, where to follow Lori from Passionate Penny Pincher. She is the creator of these products. And then you also get some stickers, 2 sheets in the beginning of the planner, and they are not coiled in. I didn't have to remove them. They were in a nice little plastic pack to keep them safe. So last year's looked like this. So I've used some of these, but they are the same designs, but it's just a more colorful. This was more muted. So basically all blues and cream. This brings in the other colors that are in the Passionate Penny Pincher Home Planner and other products that they offer. But I like these stickers because of how they are business centered or work centered. You get reminders for paying taxes, trainings, half day, personal day. I love this long arrow. I used that last year. I didn't need the whole thing, but I trimmed it down, and I love that because you can go like a whole week marking something on your monthly calendar or your weekly spread. But these are really practical for business uses, as well as just kind of positive and a touch of color to liven up what you're looking at. All right, so then you get this sort of introductory page that is a coated cardstock. There's nothing on it, but it protects this. You could actually put some sticky notes on this if you wanted to keep track of some frequently used telephone numbers or email addresses. You could use this as a dashboard or a hub for some information. Then it says 25-26 work planner. This book belongs to, and I'm going to go ahead and write my name. Okay, now it's officially mine. Let's flip the page and see. This looks like the same thing that we had last year, which is a letter from Lori and some suggestions for how to approach using this work planner. A verse from Colossians. So this is the first of what you will find to be many Bible verses in this planner. I personally love that. This one's from Colossians, but you're going to find verses from Proverbs 31 throughout the rest of this planner. And it's not super prominent. It is on the monthly spread, but I really, really enjoy that. And the verses have to do with working women, the Proverbs 31 woman. So you don't have to be a woman to use this planner. And the ideas would still be the same for a working man, but I really love the Proverbs 31 verses. Intentions and Dreams, Part 1, Intentions and Dreams, Part 2. So, this is a nice thing to just kind of settle in a comfy chair with a cup of coffee, not necessarily at your desk, but you could do it at your desk, and to get kind of your thoughts down on paper. You know, you have some dreams, you have some goals for the coming year. You might want to look back and reflect a little bit about things that you want to change moving forward. This is a really good focus up spread that I enjoyed using last year. To do or not to do on this page. So you want to do more of some things, you might want to do less of some things, and that is where you clarify those things here. This is what inspires me. And you have headers, but you can change them if you want. Books, podcasts, music, people, activities, and spaces. If you would like to put different headers there, go for it. You could even put photographs that inspire you on that page. Looking ahead. What things did you just love over the last year? What detracted from your days throughout the year? What obstacles did you face in the last year? And when looking at what you enjoyed in the last year, as well as the current challenges you're facing, what can you do going forward to create a year that you will love? The perfect day. Imagine it. What things would you do or love to do most days? What would you like to make time for at least once a week? Which hours would you like to be completely free from work each day? Now, this was helpful to me and it was an eye-opener to me because I tend to just work all hours. When I'm awake, I might be working. And it's, I think, good to set some boundaries for yourself, especially if you are prone to working all the time, which is kind of the way I am. Could you totally unplug for a few hours each day? What's your goal for when you will unplug? How many hours a day will you do that? Your professional goals. Here's a place for 2 different goals and steps to achieve them with deadlines that you can add and the actual date of achieving that you can add. Personal goals, 2 of those. If you need more professional, just use this for more professional goals. And if you want to use all 4 of these for personal goals, there's no reason why you can't because the layout is exactly the same. Did you notice these corners are rounded? That's a nice touch. Workspace checklist. Organize by sorting papers and notes, throwing away trash, shredding old papers, and more. And then you add in some of your own tasks for organizing your workspace. Cleaning. Wiping down your computer screen, wiping down the keyboard, wiping down the mouse, etc. General housekeeping, watering the plants, taking out the trash, taking out the recycling. This is like if you work in an office or if you have your own business space in your home. It's not really about your whole home. This is about your workspace, but make it what you want it to be. And then you can have your own checklist right here. Then routine tasks. Taxes and expenses. These are definitely business centered. I like these. Paying your quarter 1, quarter 2, etc. taxes. Managing expense reports, planning next year's tax payments. Client relations, sending invoices, that's something I do. Follow up on unpaid invoices, check in on clients you haven't heard from, etc. Calendar and schedule. Request time off for vacation if that applies. Set up your out of office notices on the calendar. Some kind of digital things that you can do here, scheduling phone calls, scheduling meetings, and a blank checklist. Here's an expense tracker. You get so much room for this. So you have a date column, a company or description, the amount, and then the schedule. Is it monthly? Is it quarterly? Or is it annually? This is an example that's filled in. And then you have boxes for July through June of the following year because this is on the academic or fiscal year. This is the same sheet right here, and you can continue with your expenses. Then you have monthly checklists, and at the top of each one here, you get these little sayings like, keep hustling, get it done, where's it going, plan your money ahead. I like that little touch. So this is also July through June. These are tasks that you want to do every month. So if there's something that is a routine that you know on the first of the month, you need to order a certain supply, or midway through the month, you need to send invoices. Anything that happens once a month or maybe once every other month, you would add to this monthly checklist, monthly goals checklist. So here is where you think about your business goals. If there are things you'd love to accomplish regularly having to do with your goals, then add them to this list so you can easily work through them, and you have boxes for July through June of the following year. Here are 2 full calendar years. We have January through December of 2025 and 2026. Over here we have a place to jot down dates to remember in all 12 months, beginning with July, ending with June. Do you notice the gold foiling? This is new. These accents were not in last year's planner, so this little line, I almost overlooked that. Look at this. So there's this kind of soft yellow color scheme, but also the gold foiling. Those are both new things this year. Then you get a bunch of these checklist pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those, and then your monthly tab. This is college rules, so you have oodles of space here for either just taking notes and ignoring these boxes or literally making checklists. Here is what the first monthly spread looks like. July is in gold foiling, and there is a Bible verse over here, Proverbs 31:21, and this overlaps with the calendar year version of the work planner. On the July spread, you get this same Bible verse. And then when we get to January, we are going to restart the same Bible verses from last year. These are all Proverbs 31 verses, and I think that that's very fitting. If you're looking to expand your Bible verses that apply to work, then that's not going to necessarily help you because they will repeat each year. At least they have for this year and last year. There's a looking ahead mini month for August. It's a Sunday start calendar that is unlined, and it has holidays or major holidays listed on the monthly spread, and then you have a lined notes section on the left sidebar. This is headed with a pale yellow that is everywhere else in the planner. Even the tabs, look at these lovely tabs. They're this kind of buttercream color with gold lettering. I just think it's cheerful and very pretty. I liked the blue last year, but this is a really nice change. And here is the first weekly spread. So this is nice because it's a Monday start on the weekly spread, which is most people's first day of the work week. It might not be yours, but I think the majority of people do have Monday as their first day of the work week. And it's an hourly format that's broken into hours with bolder lines and half an hour with a faint line. I like this layout because you get a good 2 inches at least. I just measured it and it is exactly 2 inches wide, so you have more writing space than you might have in other hourly planners. It starts at 5 a.m. and ends at 7 p.m., but I am a fan of making a planner work for you, and I will very often just with a bold marker right over top of these times, especially if I don't start working until 10 someday. I don't want to waste all of the space from 5 a.m. to 10. So I will either use that space as a checklist or I will re-time it. So I might actually break my hours into 15-minute increments and write a great big 10 here that's skinny but tall to dedicate this 2-hour area, or originally 2 hours, to a single hour broken into 15 minutes. I'm a big fan of doing that, but you don't have to, obviously. Your Saturday and Sunday are divided. These start at 9 a.m. and end at 3 p.m., both of them. You can re-hour that if you want to. At the top of the left page, you identify your top 3 priorities for the week. Priority 1, 2, and 3. One thing I'm looking forward to, someone I can encourage. I think that's lovely. Something I'd like to read or listen to. Now, use those for something else if you want to. I will very often just put my top priority. Sometimes I will do all 3. This is sort of a habit tracking area right here. So you have boxes for Monday through Sunday, and you have 6 spaces for either putting a task, a habit that you're trying to build, or just something that's on your to-do list that you need to do more than one day of the week. Isn't this nice? And all the pages are still rounded, of course. I mean, that would be weird if they stopped being rounded as we got into the planner. If you get to the last page of the month, or when you do, You celebrate your success with a monthly review. So here are the questions. What was your biggest win this month? What do you wish you had done differently in the last few weeks? What did you do that was fun, personally or professionally fun this month? What did you change that you want to continue? What did you manage well over the last few weeks? Your biggest goal for the upcoming month? And what are you looking forward to in the next few weeks? And then here's another one of those terrific long checklists with a floral embellishment at the top and little faint yellow check dots. All right, so let me show you an example. The layout has not changed, just the look with these buttercream tabs and also with the added, I think, nice embellishment of gold foiling. Like when you see the monthly header that has gold foiling. That's new. But let me just show you how I use this layout. So here is a month that has recently passed, and I did not get pretty in this. I did not get very decorative. I just kept it all functional. That just depends on my mood. Sometimes I will get decorative. But when it comes to work planners, I'm generally just writing quickly, making lists, and just doing the essential things. Here I only had one priority, and I think most of the time I only have one priority. I didn't track any habits. Basically time blocking, and so these look very similar. I just used highlighter and pen. I don't usually write on the weekends unless I have a work-related thing, like this was for one of my piano students. I went to that, and then when I play piano at church I will use that in my work planner. This is my May calendar, still just kind of messy, and I have not filled out this next month of May. Right now it's May the 2nd, and I just haven't filled any of that out. Let me show you just a little bit more. I forgot about this. I don't always use my highlighter. I don't always do time blocking. Sometimes I'm doing checklists, but it's still very messy, I would say. So I don't always really try to impress with the look in my work planner. Don't use every single day. Don't even use every single week. But I find it very helpful to just have this out as a place to write, and I fold it back on itself so I can just write on the current day most of the time. So the monthly tabs are basically checklist and then the beginning of the next month. And so here we have Proverbs 31:24, September. These are all going to look exactly the same, but with a different Bible verse each month. Sometimes it's up at the top. It just depends on how the days fall. And we always have the monthly review and the checklist at the end of the month. So let's just look at the back of the planner and see if there's anything different. I don't think there is. No, there's not anything different. It's the last monthly review and the last checklist page, but this one's double-sided. And you know, they could have just made that a blank page. They actually made use of that space. I'm really appreciative of that because they could have, since normally the reverse side of that checklist page is a calendar and there's no more calendar. That could have just been an advertisement for the company, but they made it a checklist page, which I think is terrific. There's a pocket here in the back which can hold your sticker sheets. I think we can try that. Yes, it can. Also, you might be interested, if you do like stickers, you might be interested in some of the sticker books that would apply possibly for you. They have a teacher edition sticker book and they have a business edition sticker book. Both of these would work great. Let me flip through and just give you a look at what these are like. This is the business edition, and this one has some scripture and some kind of motivational sayings as well. Same thing here. I think they're really pretty with the gold accents. And yellow gold is the only metallic that I have seen in the Passionate Penny Pincher products. Like, you don't see rose gold if you're interested in that sort of thing. Look at these meeting stickers. Those are really neat, and I like these notes to do stickers. I haven't used them much. I should because they're gorgeous, but I tend to just get sloppy in my work planner. These are phone call, email, and follow-up stickers, scheduling stickers, postponed, project due, deadline, notes to do, reminders and call-outs, tax returns. So you get 4 of these, 4 of these. This one's for federal taxes. This is for state taxes. And file year-end taxes, file 1099, file W-2. This is great for work. And then look at all these payday stickers, send invoice stickers. I really should be using this. Maybe I'll turn over a new leaf on this one. We'll see. I just am trying to cram so much into an hour every hour when I'm working that I forget to kind of throw in some fun with the stickers. But this is really a nice sticker book with thoughtful stickers for work and business. And these are tabs. So if you want to mark a place in your book, like the expenses page, you could use a tab for that. That's a neat idea. And this is washi tape. So if you want to mark a stretch of days, you could do that. These are celebrations. Promotion, yay. Birthday cakes, team celebration, team dinner, happy retirement, retirement party. These are holidays. So really neat. And you get a bunch, don't you? More motivational sayings. And then in the teacher one, I'll go ahead and flip through that in case I have some teachers watching. I'm a piano teacher as well as a content creator and an Etsy shop owner. So both of these really should work well for me. But I just don't decorate very much when I'm using my work planners. So these are teacher motivational quotes. These are special days during the school year, as well as like some fundraisers, a spelling bee, field trips, volunteer day, graduation, assembly, PTO meeting, parent-teacher conference, department meeting, IEP, no school, 2-hour delay. Those are neat. You get 6 of those. You get 3 snow day stickers, fire drill, tornado drill, lockdown drill, bus duty, recess duty, lunch duty, enter grades, grade papers, progress report, quiz. These little boxes say quiz, exams, finals, tutoring, private lessons. I could use a ton of these private lessons ones for my piano studio. Lesson plan, attendance, appointment, after school appointment, sick day, personal day, more long arrows. I love these long arrows. Break, that's great. Look at these. Rest for 5 minutes, rest for 10 minutes, leave someone a treat, treat yourself, compliment a coworker, compliment a student, compliment a parent, write someone a card. That's neat. I like it. More tabs. You don't have to use this in your planner. You could use this in teacher manuals or other books that you refer to a certain section and you want to be able to flip to it easily. Birthday stickers, happy birthday, and some banners and balloons. And here are holiday stickers. And we're not done. Motivational stickers, make today amazing, only the brave choose to teach. So those are just some ideas if you want to add a little bit of extra fun to your work planner, and they will fit in this pocket. Let's compare pockets. Here's last year's pocket. So it was basically the same thing, but this one is definitely, it's not higher quality, it's just more bling. I just think it's nicer. It's happier and brighter, whereas this is more subdued. And let's just do a little demonstration for anyone who needs it on how you can use this bookmark. It's wide enough that you could put the little square sticky notes on if you need to have some reminders on your bookmark for the day. You can make this peek out above the top of your pages to use it as a bookmark. You don't have to though. So when you close the book, it would stick out that much. And look, that's a nice look there, with the kind of heather gray look on the book cloth and the beige floral in here. That's really nice. And if there's a page that you want to refer to a lot and you don't want to use the bookmark on your current day, you could maybe go up here to the business expenses and just keep a bookmark in this, or use one of those sticker tabs that's in the sticker book if you get that. And that way you can very easily go to your expenses page and jot something down before you forget. So I think it just looks really nice, and I like the changes with the gold foiling. I especially appreciate this. This is the most practical of the changes, I think, that you have the date on the front. Now, let me address an issue that some people had with the calendar year planner last year. This one was my academic year version, and of course I didn't need to have both of these, but I also had the calendar year version. So as an affiliate, I'm often sent more things than I can actually use. But the calendar year version, a lot of customers saw their cover kind of bend up. Mine was no exception, but I did fix that. But it was a little bit of a pain. I don't see that problem with this one because right out of the gate that happened with just the calendar year version. It never did happen with my business, fiscal, or academic year version. That just never happened. But this one just had a little bit of a curl to it, not sure why. And what I ended up doing was putting my planner like this with just the cover and putting some heavy things on it to flatten it out. I also turned it upside down because it would bow right there, put something heavy on that for a long time, and it basically straightened out. I mean, you can hardly see it now, and it never did bother me after that point, after I straightened it out. But it looks like they fixed whatever that issue was that caused that with the calendar year version. Because this one's not doing that. I don't think that if it's not already doing that, that it would suddenly start doing that. I think it was a fluke with last year's calendar version. So if you are one of the people that had that problem, I think whatever it is must be fixed because I don't see that as an issue here. All right, so thank you for watching this review. I hope it was helpful. I really do enjoy this as a work planner. I think it's really terrific. As an affiliate with several different planner companies, of course, I have more planners than I could ever use. But I have spent many months in the work planner and really found it to be a helpful resource. I showed you the weekly spreads that are pretty typical for me. I get messy in it and I make it work for me. I'm not trying to show it off to anybody like I do with maybe my memory keeping version of my own personal planner, but it just does work for me. And I scratch out things, I get messy, and it's perfect for that. I just think it's great. And I really appreciate the 2-inch wide columns on Monday through Friday. Well, they're still 2 inches wide on the weekend, but you don't get as much of the day there. That's fine with me because this stays at my desk. I don't really need it very often on Saturday and Sunday. All right, you guys, I have an affiliate link for Passionate Penny Pincher in the video description. I would be so appreciative if you clicked on that because the company actually does keep track of clicks. And whether you buy something or not, it's just if you're interested in exploring what else Passionate Penny Pincher has to offer, it is a Christian company, which I know is something that is a big plus for a lot of my viewers. Just clicking is a great way to support an affiliate such as myself. And of course, if you do purchase something after clicking on the affiliate link, the company, not you, but the company will give me a tip, so to speak. So it is a very nice thank you from you when you do that, and I appreciate it. And I would like to thank you for watching and supporting my channel, giving this video a like if you found it helpful and informative. And I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.